Hey guys, welcome to video 3 of this series with Trevor, the CEO of Carrot. He's doing these exclusive videos just for the DealMachine family, and it's how pairing online and offline marketing will supercharge your lead generation. Trevor, what are we talking about in video 3?
David, so video 3, like you said, and we've kind of built up the storyline here, right? At first, we talked about how your offline marketing creates what I call online demand. And there's a lot of leads and deals being lost right now by people only doing offline marketing because people are hitting the internet and they're doing searches, not finding you. Number 2, we talked about how to build credibility once you get online, how to do it the right way, not the wrong way. And this one now, I want to talk about budgeting. And I know it sounds like a really boring topic, right? Like budgeting. But we get this question a lot from people. They'll hop on a call with us and say, hey, what can I get with $500 a month or $1,000 a month? And while it's a good question, it's a little bit of a misguided question. I'm going to walk you guys through a quick calculation that I always take our clients through, whether they're a brand new investor or the most experienced investor. I remember one time I took one of the largest home buyers in America through this calculation, and everyone knows whose website it is, knows his name if I were to say it. This is probably 6 years ago. He's like, man, I never thought about marketing and budgeting that way. And that's the way that I like to think about it. So I'm going to bring up my iPad here, my fancy drawings. And with this fancy drawing here, I'm not sure why it's showing that. Let me see if I can get rid of this part of it. Okay, cool. Either way, there we go. It's gone. So the first thing I like to think about is this. I want you guys to kind of play along with me. Okay, grab a piece of paper, grab your computer, whatever you're going to do. But I want you to write these down because in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to have a very accurate marketing budget for you. And my goal is this. We need to remove emotion and trust the math, okay? We need to remove emotion from our marketing equation. Get rid of emotion fully. Anytime we have emotion and we bake emotion into our marketing decisions and our budget decisions, it's usually going to lose. We're usually going to lose on that. Now, how does emotion creep up? It's when we're picking a dollar amount based off of a limiting belief we have or an emotion we have as to how much money we're willing to risk losing. And so that's when I get those questions from people where it's like, hey, I'll carve out $1,000 and what can I get with this? That $1,000 isn't rooted into fact, isn't rooted into how much you should actually spend to get a deal. The $1,000 is rooted into your emotional decision to say, I don't want to lose more than that, and therefore this is what I'm going to dabble in and try. When we dabble in and try, we actually end up losing our money way, way faster. So we want to trust math, remove emotion. How do we do that? Well, the first thing is grab that piece of paper, grab that pen. I want you to write down the first number is what is your average profit per deal, or as I call it, your APD, average profit per deal. For the sake of this calculation, I'm just going to use a nice round number of 10K. If your number's bigger than that, amazing. If your number's smaller than that, it's going to be a little bit tight. You're going to have to do a lot of things that are lower cost, build up those deal finders and DealMachine, just really nail it over there, okay? So what's your average profit per deal? Next, what I'm going to ask you is, how many leads does it take you to get one of those $10,000 deals or $20,000 or $50,000 or $4,000 deals? How many leads does it take you to get? Now, it really depends on the type of marketing you're doing for how many leads it takes. What we found in our data, it's about 1 in 50 to 1 in 60 leads that turns into a deal through radio and TV advertising. It's about 1 in 40 to 1 in 50 leads from cold calling or text message marketing turns into a deal. It's about 1 in 20 to 1 in 40 leads turns into a deal from direct mail. But when you do it the DealMachine route, it's more highly targeted people oftentimes. And then on the online or on the Google pay-per-click side, it's about 1 in 10 to 1 in 20 leads into a deal because there's high intent, high motivation. In Google SEO, so someone doing a Google search and seeking you out, it's about 1 in 5 to 1 in 15 leads into a deal because they're highly, highly targeted and motivated. So pick that number based on your close ratio. I'm just going to use a nice number of 10, which is what we normally see as an average around here on the online Carrot side of things. So now what I want to ask you, and this is where the key comes in.
I want to ask you, when you say lead, that's not rundown houses for the DealMachine family. A lot of times you guys may have heard us say like 300 rundown houses, and that's what you should aim for. But can you define what a lead is in your context?
Yeah, so usually what we'll find with direct mail, it's someone who got the direct mail piece and ends up calling you. Like you got them on the phone, you're physically talking to them, kind of a thing. Same thing with the online side. They submitted an online form where they picked up the phone and called you. So it's someone who got the direct mail piece from DealMachine and called you. And your guys' ratios might be better than that since they're so highly targeted. But normal direct mail, it's 1 in 40 to 1 in 50 or so leads into a deal.
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for clarifying that too. So this part's going to be critical. Okay. So you have a $10,000 deal. It takes you 10 leads to get that $10,000 deal. I want to ask you this question. How much money would you be willing to trade in marketing in order to get that $10,000 deal? Now, a lot of people are going to say some really low number, right? They're going to say free. They're going to say $100, but we have to be realistic because we know our competition is likely, especially the professional investors, are likely willing to spend a lot more than $0 and likely willing to spend a lot more than $100. And so a good rule of thumb is 25% to start with. Okay. So 25% of 10K is about $2,500, right? So our max cost per deal in this equation, I'd be pumped all day long to trade $2,500 for $10,000 all day long. Would I trade 5K for 10? Maybe on my first deal to kind of test out that marketing method, but not consistently. I can't scale that. Would I be pumped to trade 1,000 for 10? Heck yeah. Just recently, I spent $1,800. We closed this deal 3 weeks ago, $1,800 in Google Ads, driven to a high converting website using what we showed in the previous 2 videos, and it turned into a $56,000 profit. Is that normal? Not crazy normal, but it is normal doing it the way that we're doing it. So $2,500. And now this is where the calculation comes in. Take your max cost per deal, which is $2,500, and divide it by how many leads it takes you to get one of those deals. Okay. And what we're trying to figure out is what is your max cost per lead? So in this case, I'd take $2,500 divided by 10, and that would equal $250. Okay. So this is our whole budget right here. Okay, this is our whole budget. Our average profit per deal is $10,000. It takes us 10 leads on average to get one of those. If you don't have a number, put 20 down there, put 25, put something that's kind of round. Okay, if you don't have a number on what your max cost per deal would be or what you would willing to trade, put 25% of your average profit per deal to start with. You can always make it better as you go. Divide that by how many leads it takes, and that's your max cost per lead. Now, a lot of people might be looking at this, Dave, and saying, dude, I'm never going to spend $250 a lead. My buddy over here is getting leads out of Facebook at $62. Why would I ever spend $250? Here's why. Because while you're sitting there competing against your buddy on trying to get the lowest cost per lead, your competition, who are the professional investors, are trying to outspend you on your marketing. They're trying to outspend you on the leads. And they're willing to spend up to $250 to get the same lead you're stopping at $70, $80, $90, $150 with. If you have Google Ads going, and you're going, man, my leads are getting too expensive. They're $180 or $200. I want you to go back to this and say, well, shoot, math told me I can spend up to $250 a lead, and it's going to be insanely profitable as long as these numbers stay constant or better. Okay, guys. Now, last little tidbit here to wrap up. How can you use this on the daily? The next question that might come up is, well, shoot, how much should I allocate the first month? Well, I always like to say, let's try to get our first deal done in the first 60 days. And so if your max cost per deal, according to math, is $2,500, I would then say, cool, we should be willing to then outlay $2,500 in marketing in the first 60 days to get that first deal done. Hopefully you'll get the first deal done way before that. You might get done at $500, might be $800, but it also might be $2,700 or $2,400. And I don't want you to stop your marketing. If you're $2,200 in and math says $2,500 is your number, your big deal might literally pop at $2,499, and it's a $30,000 profit deal. And you lost the opportunity to get it because you stopped your marketing. You used emotion, not math. All right, guys. If you want to then do multiple deals, and you say, I want to do 3 deals a month. Awesome. Take that number, times it by 3, and that's whatever that number is $7,500, right? Or something like that. You should be willing to spend up to $7,500 a month then to get those 3 deals, but you hope you get it for lower. DealMachine is going to help you get those leads for a lot lower. Carrot can help you get those deals for lower when you're doing it the right way. This marketing budget is going to help you remove emotion and go with the math.
Yeah, I really like how you did that, Trevor, in terms of figuring out, first of all, defining what the lead is. That's something we haven't defined in the DealMachine community in that way, but lead is the call that you're getting back. And then how much can you pay per lead that's coming in? Yeah, I mean, if you're seeing that it's going up, you immediately were like, oh, I want to cut it off. Yep. But I love that we use math to show it can sustain going up to $250.
Love it. Well, dude, appreciate it, man. The last one we're going to show, like, where can you put that money then, in addition to what you're doing with DealMachine, to see if you can squeeze out some more deals.
Awesome. We'll see you guys on the 4th video coming up. There's a link below if you guys want to check out the next video in the series.